Talk to me, to me. Majestic talks. Come and talk to me. Talk to me, to me. Majestic talks. Come and talk to me. Majestic talks. Come and talk to me. Majestic talks. Come and talk to me, to me. Talk to me, to me. Majestic talks. Come and talk to me. Talk to me, to me. Majestic talks. Come and talk to me. Majestic talks.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Majestic Talk Show. I'm your host, Latasha Morgan, and it is so glad to be back on the show. It's been a while, but thank God we're back. We also have today Reverend Natasha Gresham. Tell everybody, hey.
Hello, hello, hello. Can y'all hear me out there? All right.
Yeah, I hear you. Today we have a great topic today, and we're just going to be loose and free today, and we're going to talk about boundaries and balance. I was talking to Natasha while we were on the way here and telling her this story. I was talking to someone last week, and she was like, Tasha, I just have to tell you the truth. Now, I'm going to be honest with you all because I want you to know that just because I'm the host doesn't mean I'm exempt from anything, okay? So just like I teach, I have to learn in order for me to teach you. Okay, so balance and boundaries. So we were talking, and she was like, I just want to be real with you today. She said, I love you, Tasha, I really do, but you don't get enough rest. She said, look, take it from me. I've been overdoing it, and now I have this certain situation, this problem happening. And so I want you to know that in order for you to go where God is taking you and Him to open up doors, you can't be not worth anything. You can't be all jacked up and messed up going in because you didn't take care of yourself. And so with that, I started thinking God started telling me about balance and being balanced, making sure your life is balanced and setting boundaries in place. You don't have to do everything because I found myself doing that. I found myself whenever I got something for a class or webinar, I was going to be on that. And you know why? Because I love to learn, and I use everything to learn. I mean, if I'm watching a TV show and I can't learn anything from it, I don't want to look at it. Because for some reason, I think, Tasha, I know this sounds crazy, but for some reason, I think my brain is going to melt if I... For but somehow I'm gonna be dumb if I don't look at something that's gonna teach me something I can learn from, and that's all well and good. But what I found out is, after looking at my phone and in my calendar, I'm like, oh, I missed this class. Oh my God, I missed that. Oh, and then it's like, I was like, it's okay to miss one or two. It's okay. You don't have to learn all the time. You have to have a balance in your life. If you're learning all the time, then that means you're lacking in somewhere else. So that means if you're learning all the time, are you going to be saying to me, okay, God, I'll talk to you later. I got to go to this class. I got to learn because I got to do what you said you wanted me to do and stuff. So, God, I can't be dumb when I'm talking to people. I got to be able to help them, be able to help in any situation and circumstance. I know that I'm not God, but still, I want to be as much like him as possible. So I found myself doing that. And then he said, so what you're telling me is that you are going to make knowledge and intelligence your God.
Wow.
So that means you're sitting there worshiping that. And not only that, you're worshiping yourself. So, because, hey, leave room for me to do something.
Right.
If I know everything, how my husband, I'm going to use what you have to work with.
Right.
But sometimes you just got to sit back and let God do. So you know what I did today? I ain't have any notes today. I came free. I don't like it, but I came free. I don't. I like to have notes right here because, Lord, I want to be in line. I want everything to flow the way it needs to flow. But you got to lose control sometimes.
So from a believer standpoint, because I hear what you're saying, and I think it's a good thing for us to want to hone in on our craft. And when we think about the scriptures that talks about, faith without works is dead, but we have to find the balance. Some people, we talk about those who are heavy on the faith end and not doing anything. But then there are those of us, and we can sometimes get too much heavy on the work thing side of things and not allowing God to bring us in balance with that.
So if you're doing more on the work side and not doing enough on the faith, how can you really say, oh God, how can people really see, or you know that God is able to do that thing if you don't allow him to allow you to experience that thing?
Right.
So it's good to have faith and you got to have works. They work together. Not one overbearing the other. Because then if my faith got to involve my time with God, right? So if I don't have that time with God, then that's how we mess up and slip up. You see what I'm saying? You start doing stuff that you ain't got in the business doing.
Right.
Because you're no longer connecting with the Spirit of God.
Right.
You're no longer in connection with him because it becomes something that isn't as important. That's something that not that it isn't important, but it becomes, oh, God gonna be there forever. He can, he all right. He can wait. He can talk to me as I go, and that's good. I talk to God as I go too. But sometimes you got to have that time. I remember I used to do at least 10% of my time where I would, it don't all have to include just me sitting there. But I got everything from him. It didn't matter what. If I was doing an event, I got all of that from him. I sought him for that. I seek him for stuff now. But you know what I'm saying? You have to have a balance between that and doing the work. And that the work became more than me working on the faith part.
Right.
And so then I was making the work, my God, and the work, the thing I worship, the work, the thing that I held on to more, because I said, okay, well, to me saying that if I'm going to do all the work and get all the understanding and intelligence, God did say, in all that I get and get understanding. But you got to have wisdom when you get an understanding. And you have to learn to just let go and just have a balance.
So what do you think what are things that can get us off balance? And I know, and we also talked about, boundaries and how balance and boundaries go together. So with this question, I kind of want to tie boundaries in. What are some things that get us off balance?
Okay, like I said, we do too much of one thing and not enough of the other.
Mm-hmm.
So think about this. Okay, so if I spend, say for instance, I can't spend 10 minutes with God and then spend 30 with other stuff. Or you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Is that answering your question?
Well, I guess I'm looking for okay, because let me use myself for an example. I'm very, very aware of, I'll say, the balance or the understanding of balance and boundaries. And a lot of times I'll start off and I'll set them, and then somewhere along the way I'll find myself leaning too far on one side. And so I guess I'm asking, what is it do you think that is for me? Sometimes it's drive. Sometimes it's just wanting to try to do all I can do and taking on too much. And then I find myself, like you were talking about, missing appointments or overbooking, or just being extremely, extremely tired because I've tried to do everything. What do you have any suggestions or coachings for how to kind of ward off getting to that place? Now I know for me, I've learned to, when I get to that place, to recenter, refocus. That's something that my pastor's been talking about this year, refocusing. But I desire to not always get so far to the left or right to have to recenter, but learn to kind of catch myself in the sway
and stay in the middle.
Yeah, like, so you have any suggestions for catching yourself in the sway?
Well, okay. If here's what I did, you can always sit down at any given day of the week. Say, for instance, in 7 days, let me assess and see what I've done, what I've accomplished that week, and what I thought or wanted to accomplish that week, and see which one you did the most of.
Okay.
See, if you do, okay, say for instance, I have 5 things that I want to accomplish. So I said those 5 things, okay, on one side. And the other side is what I did. So if I found myself, say I wanted to take a trauma care class, I wanted to go and just hang out and just relax and release and all of that. And then 3 other things. If I just did trauma care and stuff that whole week, then I neglected everything else, right? So if you sat down at least once a week and looked at that to see, then you, instead of you getting too far over on that side, going a long time without doing it, then you'll realize what you're doing so you can bring yourself back.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Just an assessment. Just and we always talk about it again. Also, just kind of looking in the mirror and checking yourself. But that's good to just go back and assess your week and say, okay, this is what I set out to do, and this is if I did all of it. But here I am at the end of the week, exhausted, wore out, beat down. Maybe I need to temper it down, or this is what I set out to do and I didn't get it all done because of X, Y, Z. Then I know how I need to readjust
and what you need to work on.
Yeah, that's great.
You could do that. But the scripture does say, make a write the vision and make it plain.
Absolutely.
So whatever your vision is for the week, write that at the beginning of the week. At the end of the week, you look at it and see what you've done. I bet mine would probably say I had a whole lot of classes. And looked at a whole lot of documentaries so I can learn one. And then the other side would be, oh, I ain't do this, I ain't do that.
Yeah.
So, that's how mine would probably be if I don't work on it.
Right.
And that's what it was looking like before. So I learned that it's really difficult and hard because you want to do everything you can, and you want it. And I find a lot of reasons we don't say no and we don't set boundaries because we don't want to disappoint other people. And we don't want people, you know how sometimes when you say no, where they say like, let's use myself as an example. If I said no, oh, you being selfish. You know, you can spend a little bit of time doing that. It ain't gonna hurt you. But then when it's them, guess what? No. I said no, and I mean no. I'm not gonna do it. You just gonna have to wait till another time. Figure it out. If you can wait, let me check and see if I can do whatever it is you're asking me to do. But if not, I'll let you know. And if you have to move on and go to somebody else, good. But see, we don't do that.
See, Lady Cheryl up here got jokes. She talking about I hope Natasha's listening to her on it. I'm listening. I'm jotting it down. I'm here being transparent with my too busy self. Okay.
But everybody does that. It don't necessarily mean what is your business or your job and stuff, because we are all trying to get somewhere. Yeah. We are all trying to do more than we did last year, go farther than we did yesterday. But we have to learn that there's a balance. And the body you in is not made to do all of that. Even God himself rested. I don't know why we think we're greater.
Wow. Yeah.
So we're better than God that we can't rest. God said no. He said, thou shalt not. And if you disobey it, guess what? This shall happen. So if God has a no and a yes, and you know, when he say no, he mean no. When he say yes, he mean yes. Absolutely. If he say yes, it's going to happen. If he said no, it ain't. And if you decide to go on your own, then you're going to reap the consequences of your action. I've done that before too. I went on my own because I thought he was too slow. And you know, you do think he's slow sometimes. He just don't work a little faster. I don't be want to wait years for you to do it. But you got to know that he's working in his time, because that's the time that's best for you. You work on because there are things you could be working on. Right. So you work on your stuff while he working on his. Because I said, okay, God, you go do what you going to do. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. Then and let's see who get there first. Now, that was stupid, wasn't it? Because I still ain't got there. No. So, you know, because I'm doing it on my own. So they're just being real with you. I know that's kind of not what people supposed to say and the coach isn't supposed to say, but they're just being
It's just real. It's what it is. And that's what, you know, Majestic Talks is about. Just, you know, being able to be real and be open. And I'm glad you, as the coach, are having this conversation and being transparent and showing where even yourself, you know, where you have to kind of reel yourself back in and wear the coach hat to yourself, kind of, you know, and say, hey, come on, let's get this together, let's get this in order. Let's talk about that, because I think for myself, that's another that's something I just straight up don't like. I just said I'm pretty well at seeing now when I've gotten off balance. But the recalibration, and it's like you said, it's sometimes recalibration means disappointing others or feeling like you're going to disappoint others. That is hard for me. It's easy for me to correct myself, but when it affects, or I feel like it's going to affect someone else, that's hard for me. You have any advice or suggestions for that?
I'm going to give you the same advice God told me the other week. He said, well, if you dead, there's nothing you can do about it, right? Yep. So whatever is going to be going on, whether you're alive or dead, right? So, so if they're going to be disappointed, they're going to be disappointed. Would you rather them be disappointed or you be dead and gone?
And there you have it.
I had to tell myself that too. So people going to do whatever they want to do when you ain't here. There's nothing you can do about it. When you're not here, it's over and it's done. But you have to have balance and set boundaries, the right boundaries, and don't let those boundaries be a hindrance to you. Because the boundaries, the things we set for ourselves that we're going to do whatever we have to do in order to get what we have to get done. Sometimes those things hinder us too. So you have to be mindful of those things. And just think every time you think you're getting out track, every time you make that assessment, I'm like, okay, what is this doing to me instead of what it's doing for me? Because sometimes what we are doing is good for a whole lot of other folks, and it's good for your, just like you, that money good in your pocket, you know? But is it got too much stress and not getting enough rest can actually kill you. You open up the door. Okay, let's be a little bit more real here. You open up the door for a whole lot of stuff. Everybody holler about these diseases and all of that stuff and getting sick. But everything starts in the spirit first. When whatever doors you open, if you open a door because you're not getting enough rest, and the Bible says you're supposed to rest, right? He rested. So you're supposed to do that. So that means if I'm not resting, then my muscles are not getting the recuperation that they're supposed to get while you're sleeping. My brain cells are not recuperating.
And I just want to pause when you stating the things that you're stating, because even though we are Christians, what you're saying applies to human beings, believers or not believers. Yeah. So please listen to what she's saying and don't take it well as if, you know, if you don't consider yourself a Christian or don't consider yourself, you know, whatever you may consider yourself or don't consider yourself. What she's talking about now is just the facts of the workings of human beings. Go ahead.
Yeah, everybody body work the same way. He made them the same way, Christian or not. But you open up those doors for things to happen. So your brain cells, okay, if they're not recuperating at night, what's happening to them? So those things are dying out. And you find yourself, losing memory? You're not thinking the way you should do. You're a little foggy up there. But when you get the proper rest, then your body works in the proper way. So if we think of it that way, then I think we'll do better, because you know better, you do better, right? So I know for myself, when I was doing all that I was doing, I was so tired, I'd fall asleep with my glasses on and don't even know that I went to sleep. And I was doing that a lot of days. Or I find myself not having enough energy to do certain things. Like, and too, it make you grumpy. You be mad at people. Have you ever been so tired that you be a little grumpy? Because, and see, that's, people don't understand all of that different stress and all that stuff on your body can cause depression, cause a whole lot of other stuff. And those things are not, you don't want to. If you want to walk in complete and total health like God says you should, then you got to do what he said to do. And one of those things is you got to take care of you, because you're the temple that he's dwelling in. You're the temple that he has to use. You're the church you're the closest thing to God that people see every day, right? You don't see God walking here in the garden in your yard like he did when he was when Adam and Eve was here. So in the Garden of Eve, he met them there, but he ain't doing that. So that you're showing him through yourself. Wow. So if you're going to do that, then you got to do it in the proper. We have to all do it in the proper manner by taking care of us. All right. Well, we have 1 minute left. Didn't it go by quick? Yeah. I mean, balance and boundaries. Balance and boundaries get it done. Balance and boundaries get it done. But just to recap real quick, I'll say what really, really helped me tonight is that assessment, reassess, and do a weekly or even a midweek reassessment. And that'll help yourself stay in balance and not get so far off course where it becomes, you know, a big, where you have to make a big turnaround. The thing with the Titanic was it having to be so massive and turn so quickly. So if it had to start turning further back when the problem was first assessed, then it wouldn't have sunk. Right. So, yeah. And that's what we've been doing, sinking. Dope people. But thank y'all so much for coming to have a conversation with us and chatting with us. We enjoyed talking to you today. And I'm your host, Latasha Morgan of the Majestic Talk Show and Reverend Natasha Gresham. We'll see y'all next time on the Majestic Talk Show every fourth Thursday. Goodbye and good night.
Talk to me, to me. Majestic talks. Come and talk to me. Talk to me, to me. Majestic talks. Come and talk to me. Majestic talks. Come and talk to me. Majestic talks. Come and talk to me, to me.